Child, I got in trouble on Twitter. They say I'm a coon. Somebody said I was part of the Ku Klux Klan and I was a white supremacist, and I'm not. So basically, somebody made a post. Right, the original post was talking about one of the contestants from Love Island. I do not follow Love Island, do not know anything about it, right? But I do know that, well, I've seen clips of the certain seasons in the past, right? And a lot of the different types of beautiful black people that come from Love Island. So that's as much as I know about the show, right? I don't really try to be in heterosexual people's business like that. But anyway, I saw that somebody was talking about one of the contestants' name, Shelly, I think, or Shelley. I don't really know how it's said. I believe she's an African girl, so I don't really know the specifics and how, it could be interpreted different types of ways depending on your accent, where you're from, and beautiful girl, beautiful woman. But there was something that kind of, strikes me when I was looking at it. The OP, the original post, right? She was sitting there saying, "This is for the round face girlies," which I was like, okay, round face girlies. Okay, I guess this is certain categories that people make certain things, right? And then she says she has really, really soft features. She's so cute. What do you mean by that? My problem with that, where I basically made a very avant-garde, a very inflammatory response to that, basically saying, translation, she doesn't look too Negro. She doesn't look too black. Now, so many other people are sitting there being obtuse saying, what are you talking about? A lot of black women are known for soft features. I'm like, no, I don't remember a lot of black women being known for soft features. Black women can have soft features. I just didn't know that black women were known for soft features, right? And I have people in my family who have technically soft features, but I didn't necessarily really see it as soft. I saw it as just black, right? And maybe there was a disconnect in the way that I was seeing it. I've been in I may not be in the beauty space, as a queer dude, I'm not necessarily in that particular field, that's a whole thing to that. But I have been in some other spaces where I have noticed that language, right? Especially the exotical spaces, right? If you've been around them, these same type of individuals are also somehow interconnected with the divester community. And I've just noticed certain patterns. Even the person who's on the LP, she's a pretty girl. She's a pretty woman, beautiful woman, right? I'm not coming for their looks. I'm not calling nobody out their name. So let's say it like that. But at the end of the day, even when I saw her, she had on a wig, she had on light contacts, and she had on certain makeup. I saw somebody else that was sitting there making a whole comment about it that was saying, it's very weird that when we think about how a lot of these girls are considered beautiful and, pretty, that a lot of them are doing certain types of looks that are, East Asian. A lot of them are kind of replicating certain type of Asian looks, certain powdered blush and stuff like that. And I feel like that was something that was a valid critique, because when we use certain languages and we focus so much on the features to sort of authenticate somebody's femininity, maybe it wasn't, I shouldn't have focused so much on just the blackness, because there's so much other stuff that goes into that, like this particular response that I got. It is so funny to me how somebody would actually use anti-blackness, because fat phobia can also work within anti-blackness. How somebody will use anti-blackness and be fat phobic and sit there and say that that's basically what you're saying. You're saying just because we're not all looking like Precious, that we should be going around and feeling bad about ourselves because we're actually beautiful, which only validated what I noticed, which only validated what I basically inferred about that particular type of language. Which, yes, it does uplift black women, but it's at the expense of people who aren't really supposed to be the representation. And that is just something that I've seen within a lot of the black women communities, right? Again, I'm a man, right? So they're gonna come for me regardless, right? But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that when I'm looking at people and they're using certain language like that, I'm like, the only reason that you're highlighting those particular type of features is because you want to create separation from what you feel is somebody who's detrimental to your image, and you don't have to do that, right? We don't have to do that, right? The same way we ask white people, where were you on January 6th? I may ask some black women, where were you when that statue? Where were you when that statue was revealed in New York City, right? And all the black women was like, again, I'm say. We still have people like Lupita. We still have various other different types of dark skinned girlies. We have Tims. We have other types of girlies all around the world, different types of females. I say I don't understand how that's detrimental to black women, right? Again, I can only go so far in that discussion as a black man. And it is what it is. But there is, I think, valid critique in looking at that language when someone is sitting there saying, you have soft features and you are able to be more feminine than the next girl. I said, there goes those hierarchies again. It's the same girls that sit there and they use their ethnicity and they say, and it leads into colorism. I'm a bit different. I'm light skinned like you, but this is not from the United States. This is something that's like grown in Brazil. Do you know what Brazil is? Yes. It's a different flavor. No, I'm not. Okay, hold on. Don't get offended. Oh, I'm just saying, I have a different kind of thing going on for me. A different glow, okay? Again, this is probably something that works within the beauty community. This is something that has happened. And so it's an actual legit thing. But I just find it so funny. I find it so funny when people say certain stuff like this and then they turn around and they're like, it has nothing to do with anti-blackness because look, we're showing black women. Girl, you're doing it again, whether you want to admit it or not. Okay?